Have you ever hit a milestone that made you stop and think, wow, look how far I've come? For me, that milestone is just a few days away. It's my 62nd birthday. And let me tell you, each year comes with a whole lot of lessons, surprises, and style upgrades. But it's more than just another number. It's about celebrating who we are, where we've been, and what's still ahead. So, are you ready to reflect on your own milestone and embrace every year with grace, gratitude, and a little bit of fabulousness? Then let's dive in. But before we get started, if you're new, welcome. If you're a regular, then welcome back to Aging with Grace and Style, where we celebrate the journey of growing older with confidence, grace, and a touch of sass. I'm your host, Valerie Hatcher. And I'm excited for you to join our community of fabulous women as we navigate the joys and challenges of life after 50. So grab your favorite beverage. As always, I have mine, and sit back and let's get started. So today's episode is extra special because it's about celebrating milestones. Why? Because in just a few days, I'll be celebrating my 62nd birthday. Birthdays are such a great time to reflect, to look forward, and to celebrate all the things that make life beautiful. There's something special about birthdays that end in even numbers. I think they feel like those checkpoints on this grand adventure that we're on. And as I sit here on the cusp of 62, I can't help but marvel at the journey this brought me here. Now, I want you to take a moment and think about your last birthday. How did it make you feel? What did it mean to you? Now, hold on to that thought because today we're diving into how these milestones are more than just another candle on the cake. They're opportunities to reflect on where you've been, celebrate who you are now, and to set intentions for the future. So, let's start with the big question. What does turning 62 mean to me? Well, honestly, it seems like I blinked and it was here. But it feels like I've reached the summit of a mountain that I've been climbing for years. And the view from up here, well, it's pretty breathtaking. I can look back and see the path that I've taken, all the twists, the turns, the steep hills, and even the moments when I thought I might stumble. And do you know what? I really wouldn't change a single step. Okay, I wouldn't change many steps. When I think about each decade of my life, I realize how much every phase has shaped me. My 20s, for example, those were about finding myself. I was fresh out of school, moving into my own apartment, trying to figure out what direction to take my career or even what career path that I wanted to be on. And of course, I didn't solve all those problems, but at least I was on a path. Then came my 30s and 40s. Those I'll call the balancing years. During my 30s and my three moves, all away from my family in San Antonio, got married, bought two houses, had a baby, finished a master's program, and looking back, it was a lot. Between family, career, and personal growth, I felt like I had to be everything to everyone. That's when I really started to understand the power of saying no and how essential it is to create space for what matters most. And then my 50s. Well, that was a game changer. It was my 50s that I began to focus more on me. It wasn't about what others expected. It was about what made me feel fulfilled. I started to embrace who I was, flaws and all, and let go of trying to meet everyone else's standards. That shift, it's been so freeing. Now in my 60s, I feel like I'm standing on solid ground. All those lessons that I've learned from each decade have brought me to a place of peace and excitement for what's next. It's not just about getting older, it's about growing wiser, more confident, and more intentional with my life. Now, as you reflect on your own milestones, take a moment, write down a lesson from each decade of your life or each significant phase. Honestly, it was pretty interesting and eye-opening for me to sit back and to think about it. So whether you're in your 20s, your 40s, or beyond, what have you learned that has shaped who you are today? Consider how these lessons can guide you as you look ahead to the next chapter. Now, speaking of being intentional, one thing that I've embraced over the years is my personal style. Love talking about style. And here's the thing. There's no age limit on feeling fabulous. In fact, I feel like my style has only gotten better with age. But it wasn't always that way. When I was younger, I worried about what was considered quote unquote appropriate in the corporate world. I felt like I had to fit a certain mold. Now, at almost 62, and I say almost because, hey, I still have a few days. I've thrown those rules out the window. I wear what makes me feel confident. It could be long or short, black or bold, fitted or loose, but I'm always tasteful. I remember a conversation recently about how I wouldn't fit in with a certain group of people because my dresses were too short. Well, while my dresses are typically above the knee, they aren't untastefully short. Hey, I have long legs. But really, must we conform to makes others feel better or what makes them feel secure? I'm not playing it safe to please others. Yes, there are times when the situation, the location, or the event calls for a certain style, and I totally get that and I respect it. But I'm not changing who I am to please others, nor should you. Not at this point in life. That even includes how we wear our hair. I've talked about braids before, and I've told you the braid story in corporate America and all that. But as you can tell, I am still embracing and rocking my braids. It's freeing to embrace your style without worrying about what anyone else thinks. Whether for you, it could be bright red lipstick or leather jacket, but whatever it is for you, I've learned that personal style is about how you show up in the world. It's about owning who you are. Now, take a look in your wardrobe or how you express yourself. Is there something that you've been wanting to try, but you held back because you didn't think it was appropriate for your age or the stage of life? Then this week, give yourself permission to wear something that's bold or try a new look that reflects who you are, not who you think you should be. Your style should make you feel confident and fabulous at any age. Now, another big lesson that I've learned, especially as I've gotten older, is the power of gratitude. And I mean, truly practicing gratitude, not just thinking about it here and there. For me, gratitude has been a game changer. It shifts my focus from what I might be missing to what I already have. One of the ways that I've incorporated gratitude into my daily life is by keeping a gratitude journal. Now I know I mention journaling often, but that's because it really is one of the tools that keeps me sane and grounded. Most nights. Now my goal is every night, but that's sometimes not realistic. I write down 3 things that I'm thankful for. Some days it's something as simple as having a peaceful morning with a cup of coffee. Other days it's something deeper like the support of my family or maybe a meaningful conversation that I've had. Gratitude helps me remember that even on tough days, there's always something to be thankful for. There was this particularly rough day that I remember when it seemed like nothing was working out the way I planned. But I sat down that night, I wrote about the small things that I appreciated, and it completely changed my perspective. Gratitude doesn't erase the challenges, but it does help you see the light in the dark. Now, I want to challenge you to start a gratitude practice if you don't already have one. Take just 5 minutes each day to write down 3 things that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be big, small things matter too. You'll be amazed at how this simple habit can shift your focus and lift your spirits, especially on tough days. And that brings me to something that I love about birthdays. They're not just about looking back, they're about looking ahead and setting new intentions for the future. I think about birthdays as my personal New Year's, except the resolutions are more about who I want to be and less about checking boxes. As I step into 62, I've been thinking about what I want to focus on this year. One of my big intentions is to embrace more joy and to be more. I want to stop rushing through life and really savor the little moments, the laughter with friends, the quiet moments with family, the beauty in everyday life. I also want to continue to prioritize my health, making sure that I'm taking care of myself mentally, emotionally, and physically. Intentions, they don't have to be big or overwhelming. They're just guiding principles for how we want to live. For example, instead of saying, I'm going to work out every single day because Lord knows, I know that's highly unlikely, I'll set the intention to feel strong and energized, and then I'll make choices that align with that. It's less pressure and more about creating a life that feels good. As you approach your own milestone, whether it's a birthday, a career shift, or a personal transition, take time to set an intention. Ask yourself, what do I want to feel or experience this year? It doesn't have to be a big goal, just a meaningful intention that will guide you toward living with more purpose and joy. So before we wrap up today, I want to hear from you. How do you celebrate your milestones? What lessons have you learned along the way? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop them in the comments below. As we close, I want to leave you with a thought. Every year is a gift. Whether you're 22 or 82, you still have something unique to offer the world. So celebrate your milestones, big and small, and embrace them with gratitude and style. Life isn't about reaching a destination, it's about enjoying the journey. Now, as a reminder, here are a few takeaways. Number 1, reflect on your journey. Take a moment to write down a lesson from each decade or life phase. How can these lessons guide you forward? And number 2, embrace your style. Try something bold or something new this week. Let your style reflect you, not what's considered age appropriate. Number 3, start a gratitude practice. Spend 5 minutes each day writing down 3 things that you're grateful for. It's a small habit that can make a big difference. And then number 4, set a meaningful intention. As you approach your next milestone, think about what you want to feel or experience. Set an intention to guide your year. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope these takeaways inspire you to embrace your own milestone with gratitude, style, and purpose. If you like this episode, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Until next time, celebrate every year of your beautiful, one-of-a-kind life. Stay fabulous and keep shining, my friends.